Greetings. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. Thank you so much for joining me today. You find me outside. I want to show you one of my cantaloupes. I don't know, can you see it? And there's one I'm hanging here, and I got another one over here on the other side. And the only reason why I done that today was because I had promised y'all, even though it's not enormous and I don't have a big garden, it's the start. It's the fact that you're starting something, right? You know that something needs to, in order to start something, to have something, you got to first begin it, right? How many times have we put off and put off to do something we know we should be doing, right? We know we need to get started. Oh my gosh. Can you remember how many times he says, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. And you still ain't got it done. You know you need to do it, but you still ain't got it done, right? So, what I said is, it says, hate not small beginnings. So, what I done, and this is just one of my exhibits I wanted to show of starting something, right? And the other day, let me tell you what happened. We had all these vines, right? They were laying all over the ground, and I don't have no OCPD, MRKF, whatever. It's the fact that I had to cut my grass, and I got tired of them tall weeds just all around all them vines. So I just took them and got little trestles. My daughter, this is like her baby right now. And so we just did that so that we can be able to still hopefully get some, get something off of these things, right? But don't be afraid to start something that you know you need to start, right? You need to start canning, go ahead and start it, right? It's a good time to do it. Learn something that you may need later on, whatever it is. People are, the good thing about social media is it's like your personal library. You want to know something? Just, ask Google, whatever it is. Ask, I want to know about how to do this. And there's millions of people who can help you get it started, And even though you err, you don't get it right, you have not perfected it, but at least you have started it, right? Just start. I remember when I first got started in my business. Now, I never thought when I was younger that I would be owning a business or businesses, right? Never thought that, right? Because, based on what people plant in your head, you think, you watch everybody else do it, and, you hooray them, parade them, and you pay for them. But you realize, you got the same kind of gift, you got the same kind of ability. And speaking of gifts and abilities, I want to share a little bit with you about one thing I think is prevalent to say today. And that is when we talked about, y'all hear we talk about gifts and callings and being able to do things, knowing your superpowers. We want to talk about knowing your superpowers because you have superpowers. Some people don't realize it until when? Until something happens to activate it, right? A car just ran over a child, and all of a sudden, what do? You find out you can move that car. Superpowers. Oh, my adrenaline went. I wasn't thinking. I just did it. Again, that's the point. You wasn't thinking. Because when we think logical. We're not thinking spiritual now. We're thinking logical. And logical will never get us to the place we need to be. Ever. Because we're thinking of what we think we are capable of doing. Instead of, the big picture. Right? The big picture. So many times people, years back, let's talk about the matrix, right? Right. And some of y'all know where I might be going talking about the matrix, right? Those that understand that, you can live in the matrix or you can live outside the matrix. You make that choice where you want to live. And you live here, right? Not here, but here. Where do you choose to live? Here, right? So many people can be in prison, in a physical prison, but be so free in everything else they do because they didn't allow that steel cage to, harness who they really are. And they grew. And then they began to understand, the powers they could have Even though society saw them locked up, they were so free. And we are capable of being able to tap into the same things, right? Oh my gracious, don't be afraid to see outside yourself. I always said to my mama, I said, I would never be a farmer and I would never marry a farmer, right? Because my daddy was a farmer. He was a farmer. And you just learn, never say what you won't do, right? Oh my gracious, because there were so many of us when we had a garden as a child, it looked like our garden was miles long, right? Those rows just kept going. And we had to always go out there and pull the weeds out the garden. Sometimes we had to hoe around it. We had to learn how to tend to a garden. And I just thought it was ridiculous. I didn't like it. It was hot. Of course, we wanted to enjoy the harvest, picking the corn, the peas, the cabbage, the okras, whatever. But the work that it entailed, here we go. What kind of work you need to do to find out the things that you can do, right? Your superpowers, right? I'm farming now. I'm farming. And no matter how small, I'm beginning something. It's my beginning. So what's your beginning to know about your superpowers? To know what you're capable of doing if you just let yourself go, right? Your superpowers, you know? One of the ladies, she says to me, she says, well, all that stuff you do, honey, I'm not no superwoman. And, she said it. And I always laugh when she says it, right? Because she said it directly to me. It's a direction towards me, but she's saying it like, she's making a statement out. But I know she's directed towards me because they see me as superwoman. They say, you can do this, you do that, well, Miss Jenny, my name be called so much at work. They say, is there anything she can't do? But what she also can do is stand up for herself, right? Y'all don't want to hear me talk about that today. So I'm just trying to talk about your superpowers, okay? What are your superpowers? I found out a lot of people have abilities that they don't even understand. If you sharpen them, begin to work them, you find out, wow, you can do some amazing things, right? Uh, my children all will say that I had the ability to, Mom, you had super hearing, right? Because I could hear far away. But then I realized it wasn't so much that I was naturally hearing, but I was spiritually able to hear, right? I could hear conversations that people were having in their home, right? And I am miles away, but I could hear them. And I think one of my videos, I may have spoken about that, right? I remember at church one day, I went to my pastor. I said, last night I heard you and your wife talking. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, well, y'all were talking last night. And I told him what the discussion was, right? And he told me, don't you ever do that again. I said, do what? He says, that's not godly. I said, oh my God. I said, well, again, I'm like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't want to know what y'all were talking about. But when I realized I had said it, I didn't know what I said. You understand what I'm saying to you? I didn't understand then that I was tapping into my superpowers, right? And that's not the first time, and it wasn't the last time that I would be able to hear, right? People or things that was not in ear reach. Okay, but I could hear it, and go to someone and say, thus and thus and thus and thus. Yeah, yeah. I was just talking about you. I said, I know, I know. You know, I heard you, right? Sometimes. They wish I didn't, but I heard you. It's amazing, isn't it? No, it's not. It's what you're able to do. When you understand that you, every one of you have superpowers. Call them gifts, call them talents, whatever. But you're always concerned about the natural part of it. But there's some spiritual parts that you need to tap into. You know, some of you have healing hands. You don't even know it, right? You don't even understand it. But you have the ability to heal with your hands. Some of you can heal just by using, different herbs. Some of you heal by just the words that you speak. You know, you know. I remember years ago, just being able to hug people, and they would say to me, "I couldn't wait for my turn for you to hug me." And I'm like, "Why?" They said, "Because when you hug me, something would change in me, and it was always something good." I didn't understand it then. You see, people are saying things to you to awaken you. They are saying things to you to tell you who you are, because you have heard so many times that who you are is not allowed in our society, right? But it's untrue. It's untrue. Who you are is the best thing we can have in our society, because you are capable of doing things to help those who are in need. You know, your prayers, your ability to pray and things happen. I've met people that I don't remember, but they remember me. And they would say, "Hi, Miss Jenny, how you doing?" I say, "Hey, sweetie, how are you?" That's my comeback, right? "Hey, sweetie," because I don't know the name. "Hey, sweetie, how are you?" You know how we do, right? That's the era we in. Everybody's sweetie. "Hey, honey." "Hey, sweetie." There's nothing we're trying to do to, be anything other than that's the way our language, right? That's the way of the elders. Everybody's sweetie and honey bunch. Anyway, "Hey, sweetie, how are you?" And they, "Oh, I'm doing fine. You remember me?" I said, "Not exactly, right?" Not exactly. And they say, "Years ago, this happened and that happened, and you prayed for me, and I never forget it because and I tell you," and I'm like, "Oh, wow." I said, "Awesome." I give them a hug. I said, I'm so glad. I'm so glad things turned out well for you." I still don't remember them, but they remember me. They remember the superpower that we all possess, right? To be able to pray for someone and watch things happen. Sometimes it's miraculously. It happens right like that. Sometimes it takes days, but it still happens, right? Your ability to speak in somebody's life and watch their life change, just transform right in front of your eyes because you believe it. Sometimes they don't, but you do. You believe it. You believe you can move that. So you do. Somebody says it's impossible for you to move that. According to what you see, it is. But what I know is nothing impossible if you put your mind to it, because your mind controls the rest of what you decide to do. Isn't it amazing? You know, it's just amazing. So many things that we are still sleeping on. You know, you're still sleeping on you and your ability to help so many people. And they're waiting for you, right? You can hear people, in the background. I used to always dream of saving children, just saving children, right? I would dream that I had the ability to always say, I'm at a beach and all of a sudden I'm going into the beach and I'm saving these children from a typhoon or a tsunami, or I'm finding children alongside the road, right? And the children that I find have been abandoned. My job was to save them. And I'm always saving these children. And I never understood that. But I'm always saving children. But then I realized in my life, that's all I ever do. I'm walking around saving children. I'm finding them. I'm loving on them. They're calling me mom, you know, because they see me as the one who nurtured them back to health. I know that you have stronger places, things to do than where you are. I'm just knocking, and tapping at your door. You know, go ahead, do it. Go ahead, try it. See, try and see. See if it works for you. You'd be surprised, honey. You'd be surprised. I never thought I'd be here, but look at me. You know, look at where I am. Look at what's happening. You know, this is this is not what I expected to be, but I'm here. See my little candle back here? See that pretty baby? See if I can pull it out without disturbing it. You know, never thought I'd be doing something like this, but it happened. You have so much you can do. So much you can do. And sometimes we, again, we're so afraid to tap into ourselves because we have been, told that some things is taboo. It's taboo. It's another world. You shouldn't do that. That's the work of the enemy. So to heal somebody is not the will of God. Okay. To be able to see somebody that needs help so you can go help them isn't the will of God. To be able to know things that will help you get cross bridges that you would otherwise not have gotten crossed is not probably the will of God. You see, so many times we mix up so many things. We really do, because we have been shunned away from our spirituality, right? And then, you know, to be, I guess the word is to be civilized, right? And to become civilized means you need to, become unspiritual. And I'm not talking about religion now. I'm talking about spirituality. There is a difference. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people are religious, but they're not spiritual. They have, the religion mindset. And, and I'm not fighting with you on that, because that's a battle, honey, that people have been fighting forever. I just want you to understand to become spiritual, which is something I think everybody should be thinking about. Spirituality. I mean, you talk about the spirit all the time. What is that? The Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Spirit. Read all through your Bible. Spirit is always spoken. But then when you talk about spirituality, people go ghost on it. They go ghost, honey. They will leave you in a heartbeat because now you're trying to talk spiritual. Okay, well, okay, right? I want you to understand you possess superpowers. What they are, only you will know when you begin to operate in them, right? And start somewhere. Because I know you got tappings. You got tapping that's telling you to wake up. Start this, do this. You're capable of doing that. And you shy away from it because you have been told it is not godly. Well, mm, I don't know. I think Moses worked more magic than anybody could ever imagine. You know, to make it sound good for you, miracles. But it was magic. They call it the magic book. Study it, honey. Study sometime. Read. Moses now. Moses, right? How was he able to do all the things that he did? Where he get those powers from? God, okay? But God gave it to him to use. Work on that one right there. Work on that right there. He gave it to him to use. What has God given you to use that you're not using because don't use me because I can't speak well. Don't use me because I have a limp. Don't that's what he had an excuse too. Don't let me, I don't want to go to the people because my speech ain't good. You know? You see, you hear what I'm saying to you? I'm trying to wake you up, you know? Not trying to wake you up, you know? Don't get so, my girl used to say, she said, don't be so what'd you say? So heaven bound, you ain't no earthly good. That was her words. Rest her soul. Don't be so so heavenly bound that you're no earthly good. It means you got so much that you don't understand that your work here is big. It's enormous. But you got to not be afraid of you and what you are chosen to do. And stop hiding behind things that keeps you away from you and your superpowers. You know? We're so distracted now by so many other crazy things that makes you laugh. Oh, entertainment, honey. We're entertained all the time. Stop being so entertained and become educated about you. You know, you ain't got to worry about what's happening with the Hollywood stars. You ain't got to worry about what's happening with the election. You ain't got to worry what's happening, with the environment, all this. Worry about what's happening with you. Get you on your mind. Focus on you. And then find out your superpowers. One of my children had this way of looking at somebody. And they said, I don't like the way you look at me. Like he looking right through me. Because he is. He's seeing through the mess, so he can get to you and help you, you know. Really. People have so many superpowers, so many abilities. I'm calling them superpowers to make you feel better. Because the words I want to use, you ain't ready for them yet, honey. You ain't ready for them yet. Y'all be done sent somebody out here to me, oh, honey, put her to the state. She's trying to talk about something we ain't ready for. I ain't studying you. I'm just trying to help those who want to be awakened, honey, to your superpowers. And I'm going to be blasting it day by day when I feel like it because I want you woke to you because we're going to need you at your best, right? Ain't nobody going against no dragon and ain't been had no skills. You got to start somewhere, right? Am I right? Honey, you ever watch those movies with dragon slayers and stuff like that? All these people, they didn't just jump up one day and know how to tackle a dragon. And I'm just using it as a side. I ain't telling y'all we got some dragons coming now. So I'm saying, oh, she's talking about the dragon of the beast. I did not say that. I'm trying to get you to understand you got to train yourself with your superpowers. You got to train yourself. You got to get out there and start working them. You got to work those things. Like I had to work this, work it, honey. You got to do something so you can see something producing. And no matter how big, and don't compare yourself to somebody else. You started though. You have gotten started. You hear what I'm saying to you? You know what I'm saying? Let's go with David and Goliath. Let's go with him. David didn't just beat Goliath on that day. David had already tackled a bear and a lion. You hear me? So he's already been in training. Pay attention to that. He didn't just one day get up and take his little slingshot and pop him inside in his forehead and hit that pineal gland, that first eye. People call it the third eye. It's your first eye, the third, the pineal gland. Anyway, he popped that and knocked him down, and then took his head off. Because knocking him down did not defeat him. He took his head with Goliath's sword. He didn't even use his sword, honey. He took his sword. He said, everything he commanded and told him he was going to do, that's what he did. I mean, honey, I can, please, reach Bible. I'm getting you to understand something. You will never be a warrior. You will never be powerful. You will never have your superpowers until you first begin to train yourself to use them. And stop being afraid of everything, scared of everything. Every time something moves, oh, I don't know what that was. Oh, I heard something. I wonder if it's come. Please, sometimes you hear something, just ask what it is. Might be somebody trying to talk to you about something. Scared to go here, scared to go there. Yeah, we don't go on that street because such a thing. Go on that street. Once you got your superpowers. Good gracious. Y'all something else. Y'all something. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be knocking on your door day by day, trying to help you get this thing together. That's a beautiful honeybee, a bee of some sort in here. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's just a buzzing beside me. I love it too, right? Anyway, you know, be everything you're supposed to be. You know, find out what your gifts are. You're super. And then learn to use them. You know, don't let somebody tell you what you can't do, you know, because the only thing they're doing is stopping you from helping to heal the world. You know, that song, We Are the World, you know, we're the children. We can heal. You know, we can help people if we wasn't so afraid of us. We're afraid of our own self. That makes you afraid of other people, you know. Stop being living in fear, honey. Anyway, this is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. I thank you so much for coming out here with me today in my backyard, being able to see some things. And I wish I could got a little bit closer to them, honey, but I need to take my little posterior out here to work. It's my last day. It's a Friday. Anyway, you have a fabulous day. Let your light forever shine. Be awesome. Be great, right? Don't be afraid. Fear is of the enemy. Always afraid, you need to challenge that, honey. Whatever your fears are, challenge those things so you can get past them. Because the very thing that you fear will always keep you from the things you're supposed to have. It's right there in front of you. You can't even get it because the thing that you fear is standing in front of it. And until you get rid of the fear, you'll never get to that promise. The gift is behind the fear. Trust me, I know. I think you can hear the bee now. Anyway, you have a fabulous day. I love you. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. Make it marvelous.